apologize for the late start. We had a work session that ran late, and council needed to try and get a few minutes to eat something. So, Catherine, would you please take roll?
Bergeny, Steckler,
Here.
Leahy,
Here.
Gamba,
Here.
Davis,
Here.
McKinney,
Here.
Trogger.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, is there anyone who would like to speak to us about something that is not on this evening's agenda? Mr. Demos.
Yeah. My name is Floyd Demos. I live at 400 Pinion Street in Glenwood Springs up on the hill. And what I wanted to do was maybe give a little bit of philosophical discussion to you. And it has to do with something that happened to me in my endeavor to help someone in Eagle County get through the planning and zoning codes for a very tiny thing. It turns out that in Eagle County, I have a friend that had an operation on a hip and has really had the equivalent of 3 operations and really is in a certain amount of trouble. She's getting a lot better, but it happens to be in a house on Missouri Heights. She has about 76 acres. She's a widow by herself, and she needs to have an apartment in her basement. It's an existing basement. This new apartment would only be for a caregiver, meaning it's going to be a kitchen, bathroom, and a bed. And I guess I have been out of the loop for some time. I didn't realize how difficult it is to do something so simple. It turns out that the Eagle County people are really very friendly, very good, but they're having to follow their codes. And I know that you apparently are following codes and are asking your people to review those codes. And what I'm asking you, is there some way that you can make your codes more friendly, not so large? Because what I'm seeing in Eagle County just blows me away. I just can't believe it. What we want to do is so simple in this farmhouse that it turns out we had built maybe 35, 40 years ago. It's a small house in the middle of all those acres. And I found out in the review process, I'm just going to look at my letter here. We actually need, for these 76 acres, we have to have an title insurance review of it, full improvement survey of this property, and in it we show natural features and man-made features all the way from fences, barns, sheds, irrigation systems, everything you can imagine. And that was really quite a project to do that on the 60 acres. In addition, we've got to check on water rights, sewer rights, and I guess my point of this is people, I would say in Eagle County, are almost going to say, should I do what the county is suggesting? Should I say, no, I don't even want to do it? Or do I just go ahead and do it and not tell anybody? Well, of course, with the owner we're working with and with us, we would never consider that. We would have to go through the county. So I know that you're going through that, and I guess what I'm trying to say is there's some way that you can reduce your codes besides making them friendly. I think if you would look at the letter that I wrote, I went to the federal government to see what they are doing, and it blows you away. It turns out in 1937, I was a newborn on Missouri Heights, adjacent to this exact farm, because that was where the Demos place was. In 1937, the federal government, their Federal Register was 2,600 pages. In 1975, 70,000 pages, and today 180,000 pages. And I guess my point, if you would look at that photograph that I gave you, there's nothing you can do about this, but what I've shown you here are the building permits just for residential and commercial. That little tiny book of 1.2 pounds was what we had as our code in 1976. And that was all residential, commercial. You have not adopted it yet, but you're going to adopt the 2015 code, and it's identical in the sense it's residential and commercial buildings, 8.7 pounds, 1,600 pages. So the point of that is there's nothing much you can do about a code like that. Your building department has a little bit of the ability to give and take a little, but not very much. But my point is, we're going on an asymptotic trend in codes. Can you reverse it? That is my question.
Thanks, Floyd. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to us about something not on this evening's agenda? All right, seeing none, I will close that item and bring it back to council for any comments by anyone on the council.
I have a few comments.
Okay.
So Floyd actually asked me to come out to his office the other day, and we reviewed some of this and had a few laughs and maybe a few grieves. And I asked him, I go, we're right in the middle of rewriting our code as the Glenwood Springs Municipal Code. And I told him that was, in fact, our goal was to make this a code that's clearer to understand, if you will, easier to get through, less risk to the applicant, but at the end of the day, coming up with a high-quality product that Glenwood Springs deserves once the product hits the ground, that we've got a product that we're proud of, that we're excited to have in our community. But how do you get from here to there and end up with that product and do it in a fair manner, do it as efficiently as possible without, 1,600 pages? And that's just the building code, that the builders and developers out there need to follow. So I appreciate those words, and we are, in fact, in the process of trying to, get a development code for Glenwood Springs to move forward in the future that isn't so cumbersome. So we are trying. It's difficult to do. It's always hard to go back and make things. It just seems like it's harder once it's in place to go backwards. But I think we are trying to take us, if you will, a few steps back as far as the amount of regulation and the if you will, the fairness of that regulation for the applicants who want to get something done within our municipality. So we're going to give it a shot, Floyd, and we'll see how it goes. But I appreciate your words tonight. Thank you.
Thanks. I concur with Todd. Any further comments by council?
Yeah, I
Kathy?
do. First of all, I want to remind everybody about the Burgers for Badges lunch tomorrow from 11:30 until 1 o'clock, honoring our first responders, and it will be right out here in the courtyard, and please come and join us. So, the other thing I want to mention is, and I guess I can do this now, we actually got a plaque when I was at the CML district meeting yesterday. We got a plaque from Live Well, Colorado for the Heal Cities and Towns campaign. So here it is.
Great.
So, yeah, I don't know where it goes, but. And just the last thing, really quickly, I would just like to say thanks to the steering committee for Sixth Street Steering Committee. They put in a lot of effort to give us what we've gotten so far, and there's still some work to be done, but just thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Kathy. Anyone else want to make any comments? All right. I don't believe there are any agenda changes to announce. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Leo and a second by Kathy to approve the consent agenda. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next is the DOLA Programs Services discussion.
Good evening. My name is Elise Ackerman Castleberry. I am the regional manager for DOLA. For this part of the state, I cover the northwest corner of the state, which includes Moffett, Rio Blanco, Garfield, Mesa, Delta, Gunnison, and Hinsdale counties. And as the regional manager for DOLA, my job is to work with all of the local governments, provide technical assistance and financial assistance to those local governments within that area. And I've been talking with Deborah a lot about several of our programs over the last few months and wanted to just take a few minutes to come and introduce myself to you. Some of you are newer to the council, and just wanted to make sure you know who I am, and then make sure you also have a good understanding of some of the things that DOLA is doing right now and who DOLA is and what we're doing. So with that, I just thought I'd take a couple minutes, run through a few things, and then see if you have any questions for me. So really quick, how many of you are familiar, thoroughly, like really know what DOLA does? Yeah, good, yeah, all right, good. Hopefully after this you'll know better. So Department of Local Affairs, we're actually celebrating our 50th year this year, which is pretty exciting. We're essentially a state agency that was designed to create an interface between local governments and state government. And it seems to make a lot of sense that that's how you would do it, yet we're the only state that does it that way. I find that really fascinating, especially after 50 years. So those interfaces that occur between local government and state government, we've got 4 divisions to cover those interfaces. So the first is our Board of Assessment and Appeals. That is the essentially court system for property owners to protest their property taxes. It's outside of the traditional court system. It's a low-cost method for providing opportunity for people to get relief and a fair hearing when they have a complaint. We also have the Division of Housing within DOLA. I know you guys have done a lot of work with them over the years addressing your affordable housing needs. In fact, Catherine Grosscup, I think you all know Catherine pretty well, and she's actually based here in Glenwood Springs, and she's my counterpart within Division of Housing. I work for the Division of Local Government, and that is where that technical assistance and financial assistance piece is located. And I'm going to talk about that in a lot of detail in a moment. And then our 4th division is the Division of Property Taxation. These are the guys that work with the county assessors statewide to help implement taxation, property taxation in particular, across the state. Over the years, we've housed other agencies that are now stand on their own, including Department of Economic Development and International Trade. They used to be part of DOLA, and Emergency Management used to be part of DOLA as well. And we still work very, very closely with those 2 agencies. So our primary mission with DOLA is to strengthen Colorado communities, and we do that in a lot of ways. And I'm going to go through those in a little bit of detail here. I always tell everybody that I really am one of the luckiest people, not only in state government, but I think in local government too. I consider myself a local government person. I came out of local government, and now I get to work at the state level helping local government further their needs and their goals. And in doing that with the state agency, we're really well positioned to be able to be sort of the top of that tripod. We're working with you. We help you with, we work with your residents and businesses in certain cases. And then we're also a pathway into the upper levels of state governor, including the governor's office and the legislators. We help create that communication back and forth and make sure that your concerns are being heard, and sometimes bringing concerns back down to you as well. We get to be a two-way communicator. So DOLA does a lot of things. I wanted to take a minute and talk about a couple of our specific initiatives that we have done over the years. A lot of the things that we do because you, our local governments, came and said, hey, we need help with this. And we start hearing the same need come up over and over again. We're really well positioned to kind of tackle that need. And because we have resources in the form of grant funding, we're able to put money behind it too, which is one of the unique things about us within state government. And it's very responsive to local government needs. This is just a quick list of a couple of the initiatives that we've had over the years. The first two, broadband and alternative fuels, have been our most recent initiatives, and they're actually coming to an end. That doesn't mean that we aren't going to continue to work on those things. They're just the initiative portion of it. We like to be that Kickstarter on great things happening, and so our Kickstart effort is starting to wrap up on those two in particular. I think some of those will look familiar to you, though, as you've been involved with them over the years as well. As a state agency, the executive director of DOLA is part of the governor's cabinet. And then we have a pretty traditional organizational structure from there on. We've got a division director for each of those 4 divisions, and then deputy directors, and then us grunt labor at the bottom of the food chain, so to speak. But again, what's really wonderful about our organization is we're small, and so my ability to go directly to my executive director, who is a cabinet member for the governor, and get a message directly up to the governor, there's one person between me and the governor, so it allows me to really be a great conduit for you. A lot of the work that we do have committees that help us with that work. The committee that I work with the most and that oversees the majority of our work as the Energy and Mineral Impact Committee. I wanted to provide you a quick list of who is on that committee. It's several state agencies, but it's also members at large from around the state, and we have got great Western Slope representation on this committee. This is the committee that helps us with our grant funds and decision-making around our grant funds in particular. The committee that I work with the most and that oversees the majority of our work as the Energy and Mineral Impact Committee. So real quick, talk about my division a little bit more instead of getting into details on Division of Local Government. One of the very unique things is that we are not in Denver. We are living and working in the communities that we support. I live in Cedar Edge, my office is in Grand Junction, and I cover my region from that area. There's 8 of us around the state that do my job, spread out across the state. We do have support in the Denver office, though, and so in our Denver office, we've got a tremendous amount of assets and resources there that if I need help, I pull them in as necessary. That includes our local government services team. I call them our walking encyclopedias. They know state statute inside and out. If there's a question that you have about anything technical, I will pull them in to make sure that we've got not only interpretation on it, but history as well. They are able to bring a lot of history to the table. The state demographer is also within Division of Local Government, and I know she's been here a few times recently to provide overviews of her forecasting for what she sees happening in Garfield County, and she's always happy to come out and do that. If you have a few minutes and if you're a data geek like I am, her website, off of our website, is fabulous and filled with a ton of great information. And over the last few years, they've built up some of their GIS data around that as well, and they've got some fabulous interactive maps that can really help break down that demographic economic data and make it really easy to understand in a very quick picture. From a technical assistance standpoint, it's an a la carte menu. My job is to be here and be responsive to your needs. So you name it, whatever the challenge is, our job is to help you figure out how to tackle it. Sometimes that's through me providing technical assistance very directly. Sometimes it's looking for a grant source that can help you bring funding to the issue and bring a consultant on if you need it. And sometimes it's bringing in that Denver team. With our very small communities, I have done everything as mundane as help the new clerk figure out how to write minutes. The smallest, simplest tasks that someone has to do, all the way up to helping a community that's lost their manager figure out how to hire a manager or get their preliminary budget put together because that October 15th deadline is looming and they are in transition. So again, it's an a la carte menu, you define it. Skip that slide and that slide because I've kind of touched on that. So at the end of the day, everyone wants to know, yeah, what about money? So we do have our grant programs. We've got several grant programs. Energy Mineral Impact funding is certainly our most popular. It's our largest source of funding, but we do oversee several other grant programs, both state and federal funded. So we oversee the Community Development Block Grant Program for communities that are not directly entitled from federal government, and that's determined by size. We oversee the Gaming Impact Fund, which is for revenues that come out of the gaming communities. We also oversee the Search and Rescue Fund, which your sheriff and police departments tap into on a regular basis. And then we also see some of the more formulaic programs, including community service block grants, which help support a lot of the human service programming countywide. Conservation trust funds are processed through us. That's your share back of CO dollars. And then again, the next largest is the direct distribution that you receive for severance and federal mineral lease dollars. And then we also manage the volunteer firefighter pension fund, which I don't think you guys are part of since you are paid. So
We do have a volunteer firefighter pension.
you do?
Or
Okay.
We formerly had a volunteer firefighter department, so we're still.
So it's still part of the fund. Okay, very good. Just really quick, a quick overview of our Energy Impact Fund. It is our largest. The purpose of this fund is to assist local governments that are impacted by the production, processing, and conversion of minerals and oil and gas within the state. It is a statewide program. And it is a competitive program. We have really three ways to tap into that fund. The first is through our administrative grants, which are grants up to $25,000. They require a dollar-for-dollar cash match. Projects need to be less than $100,000 total. These administrative grants are really intended to help you with the preliminary work that you need to do when you're evaluating a project and trying to determine whether or not it's something you want to go forward with. We can also use them in other planning efforts. Maybe you want to have a community visioning process, maybe really any kind of planning oriented. But again, they're intended to help you kind of kickstart a project, figure out how to move forward with, get cost estimates, preliminary engineering, those kinds of things. Second two ways to tap into the funding is through our three times a year grant cycles, April 1st, August 1st, and December 1st. We have two tiers of applications. If you're requesting less than $200,000 from us, it's a Tier 1 application. If you're requesting more than $200,000 and up to it's actually $1 million right now, we just lowered our threshold, and I'll go into that in just a second. Then that's a Tier 2 application. And the difference between those two applications is how they're reviewed. Our Tier 1 applications are reviewed administratively with an internal committee of staff that reviews and makes recommendations to the executive director. And the Tier 2 applications go in front of that committee I mentioned a little bit ago, and they review and make recommendations to the executive director. It's ultimately the executive director that makes all final decisions as to what fund they have that discretion. I'm not going to go into how projects are evaluated, but if you ever have questions about how projects are evaluated, I'd be happy to come back and talk about that in greater detail, but in the interest of time, I won't go into that right now. I think just the last thing I'll touch on really quick, sort of the big topic that's been going on for us the last several months is around state severance tax dollars. So last spring, we had a very last-minute decision come out of the Supreme Court right as the legislative session was ending. And that was a lawsuit that was brought on by BP that sued the state that they should be eligible for more credits on their ad valorem tax. That ultimately, those ad valorem taxes are credited back out of severance dollars, just kind of every year cycle. It gets a little complicated. I don't personally completely understand it myself, other than every 2 years, companies are eligible for those credits. And BP came forward and said that we should be getting more credits than what we're getting, and the Supreme Court agreed. And so the state has a tax liability not only to BP, but to really any other producer that was eligible for those particular credits. So the state legislature froze our severance tax dollars. But they also gave the Joint Budget Committee the freedom to unfreeze those as more information became available so that we didn't have to wait until next session for something to happen. In August, they unfroze about half of what they froze our funding, which allowed us to finalize our April grant cycle. There's about $23 million that is still frozen. We are moving forward with our August cycle, even though those funds are frozen. They only froze what we had sitting in our bank account. We're still receiving revenues every month, and those are not frozen. So that's what we're moving forward with for our August and then probably our December cycle as well. So we're not sure how much money we're going to have for those grant cycles, because it'll depend on how much money comes in the interim. That's one reason why we lowered the threshold to $1 million, so that we'll, $2 million, it's harder to spread that out, frankly. The second reason we lowered that to $1 million is that the revenues are just down. Production around the state is down, cost of oil is down, and that directly impacts the amount of taxes that are collected. So a couple of pressures happening on our funds right now, but we are still giving grants out, and we do intend to continue to get grants out, and being asked that a lot lately, so I want to make sure that's very clear. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions, and just want to say thank you very much for giving me a few minutes to say hello and give you the quick rundown.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Elise?
Great.
I just have a comment. I really don't think Glenwood Springs has taken full advantage of what DOLA has to offer. And Elise, I appreciate you coming and kind of bringing us up to date.
Yeah, absolutely happy to be here. And Deborah and I have already got a lot of conspiring going on between the two of us, so I think you'll see a little bit of me.
At least they did really put us to the top of the list for the intern program.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciated. She's just coming back in 27 to discuss our 7th Street bid applications. We did apply for the Tier 2 grant.
Yeah.
Am I correct in my understanding that a year or two ago, Terry, we received a DOLA grant on the 27th Street Bridge? Okay. I apologize. Okay.
Yeah, and Donegan Road, does that sound right too?
Yeah.
I think we put, the last two things I know of were Donegan Road, and we did an environmental impact study. I don't remember.
That's Southbridge.
That was Southbridge, okay. Those are the two most recent things. And those grants actually preceded my time, although I processed them at the end of their lifetime, but those were old grants. So it's been a little while since there's been a real direct connection with us, and that's fine. It comes and goes, and we're here to help. We're happy to help. We go where we're called, so I just want to make sure you know that we're here.
Thanks for coming. You have a question. Where is funding in terms of severance tax and that kind of revenue?
Yeah.
Where it was before the budget crisis?
Like all the way back to 2008?
Yeah, back then.
I don't know if I go that far back.
I think a fair amount of money.
Yeah, so if you go back to sort of pre-2010, we did average grant cycles. We've always done 3 cycles a year, and our average grant cycles were probably in that $20 to $20 million range per cycle. In 2010, when the state's crisis related to the recession happened, there was a 3.5 year period where the state legislature actually swept all of the grant funds into the state's budget to help plug the state's hole. We've been back in business for almost 3 years now with the grant program, and we've actually been running record high revenues. And so we've been doing $35 million grant cycles for the last 3 years. And a lot of that is related to the production and activity that's been happening in Weld County, the Niobrara play that happened in 2011, 12, 13, 14. So we've kind of been operating on highs for the last couple of years, and you probably, if you look back at your direct distribution, you'll probably see that same, revenues were doing this and they went like this. And now, they're taking a pretty big dip, 70%, more than 70% down in revenue for this year, and projected to be about 70% down. So that takes us below our sort of historical averages, but we've been so high the last couple of years. I've been trying to remind everybody of that we've been really high the last couple of years. So this year, we're anticipating sort of $15 to $20 million grant cycles, so below our average, significantly below where we've been the last 3 years.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions on this? Thanks
Great.
very much. Look forward to working with you
Same.
a lot in the future.
Thanks for coming up.
No problem. Thank you.
Right, next item on the agenda is an update from Green Play on our Parks and Recreation Master Plan and the Community Center's business analysis. I don't know what, I'm not quite sure what our title is for that.
Oh, come on, you gave me the title. Strategic business.
There we go.
Good evening, thank you. I'm Art Thatcher. I'm the project manager and one of the principals with Greenplay. And we are doing the update of your Parks and Recreation Master Plan, and a component of that is the Strategic Business Plan. And so, it was here a month ago, we did public engagement, reported on the findings for the updated master plan. So I'm back tonight to go over what we found through the review of the data and where we're looking at with your strategic business plan. So the purpose of the strategic business plan is to align the department's plans with the long-range plans of the city and your strategic plans, to provide some background information and to guide the future for the Parks and Recreation Department. To identify your resources, we looked at financial, your personnel, and your capital resources. To identify your market, and also to determine performance measures for going forward. And so what we looked at, and kind of what we use in the industry, we look at participation numbers, your memberships, your daily passes, the community center, as well as your use of the ice rink, and your pools as your three big revenue sources and participation sources. Look at your programs, look at registration and participation, look at the percentage of your programs that are filled and your cancellation data, and kind of what we use in the social retention and repeat users and your rentals. We also looked at revenue and expenses, and in the cost recovery realm, looked at revenue through your service areas as well as expenses in your service areas. Your subsidy, what the city is subsidizing the department versus your cost recovery revenue that you're generating. We looked at your fees and charges and some of those price points. And for benchmarking, the National Recreation Parks Association, annually they put out, they call their field report. And it is it's a report, they gather data from communities all over the country. It's self-reporting. And so it gives us a really good feel for what the industry is doing. And it breaks it down into different population areas as well. So as we look at benchmarking, one of the things we look at are sources of revenue as a percentage of the budget. And so as you look on the left-hand side, those are the average sources of revenue as reported through NRPA. So in communities, 60% of the revenue the operating for a department is the general fund. 25% of that is revenue generated through the department. 9% of that is a dedicated tax levy. And then the rest of it is broken down into sponsorships, grants, and then other revenue. You'll see on the right-hand side for 2015, which is the last full calendar year, fiscal year that I had to go on. Your general fund, your general fund contribution was zero because you were contributing through your A&I funds and so you'll see that over on the right-hand side under dedicated levies. So your generating revenue was at 54%, and your subsidy through the A&I funds was at 45%. And so as I noted at the bottom, in 15 and 16, you were using A&I funds, and you were going back to prior to that, you were using a general fund contribution, and in the 17 budget, I understand you're looking at possibility of going back at that point. So we look at this in a per capita revenue and expense, and I did it for communities that are less than 20,000, which I'm using the 2015 as data estimates of your population at 9,906. And so you'll see the NRPA cost recovery average is 29% for departments around the country. The average is a 29% cost recovery and a 71% subsidy. So if you look at Glenwood Springs, again in 2015, your cost recovery was 55%. And your subsidy was 45%. So you are trending higher than the national average. if you look on the right-hand side at the per capita dollars, you'll see that for a community of your size, the per capita expense is almost $86 per person, and your revenue generated is right at $22 per person, is what the national average is for communities of your size. However, your expenses are at $226, almost $227 per person, and your per capita is at $124 per person. If you take your amenities that you have, for a community of your size, and I'll show you this in just a minute, communities of less than 20,000 typically don't have a recreation center, an ice rink, an indoor swimming pool, the amenities that you offer. And so if you look at communities with amenities of your size, that 30,000 and greater, your per capita spending is pretty much in line with those that have amenities of your size. So looking at amenity versus amenity, you're really kind of in line as far as your per capita spending is. So we look at kind of the agencies, kind of what your facilities and your amenities. And agencies under 20,000, typically their average is 10.6 acres of active parkland per 1,000. Is one of their major levels of service that we look at. Currently, your level of service for active parkland is 7.56 per 1,000. So there is, to get to that minimum, that median range of 10.6, there's some room for growth in parkland. And then we look at the facilities. And I put community center and recreation center on there, and I asterisk the recreation center because what you currently call a community center in the industry, because of the size and the amenities that are offered in it, it's really what communities consider a recreation center. So I wanted you to see kind of both of those, because a typical recreation center has a fitness center in it, has a pool, and those amenities, the fitness area, and the large gymnasium, so those things. So I wanted you to see that. So you'll see that of the departments that reported, 45% of those offer, they have community centers, and their median residents per facility are 30,000. So a community of 60,000 may have two community centers. So again, looking at the amenities, residents per facility, you are half of or a third of what those communities are. So your investment in the community and the region is to be commended as it relates to the average of nationally. I also did indoor ice rink, outdoor ice rink, because you kind of have a hybrid. Yours is an outdoor, but it's covered. And so I wanted you to see kind of both of those options as well. So we looked at community center memberships, and I looked at the last 3 years, again, the last full 3 years, and you'll see that there's been a decrease from 14 to 15. In 2014, the department looked at its membership structure and reorganized its membership structure. Typically what happens when you do that is you'll have a drop-off, and then it'll begin to come back up. And so what I did for 2016 is I looked at where your membership is and where your revenue is for the first 3 quarters of the year. And I did that by monthly average and ran that out. And if you maintain your same pace, you'll see an increase over 15, and you're starting to move back up to those 14 numbers. So again, with that change, there was a drop in membership sales, a drop in daily pass sales, and a drop in revenue. It's moving up. The things that I want you to notice is that bottom left. In 2016, so far this year, 27% of your community center members are non-residents. And that's a 5% growth over 15, and there was a 3% growth from 14 to 15. So your non-resident membership is growing. One of the things that you do have differentiation between resident and non-resident membership. It is very low, and based on kind of what the national average is of those, there's some room there for some growth in that realm. So then again, we look at registrations, and in 2014, there were 5,000 registration slots. So what that means is of 50 classes that were offered, your maximum may have been 10. So, the maximum number of registrations you could take, was that 5,137. You only filled 1,300 of those. A 25% participation rate of your maximum number of slots. So there's an opportunity to increase your participation there. Again, came up in 2015, and it is right around that 30% right now in 2016 as well.
Is this like workout classes, like bin classes?
They're all of your rate programs that you register for, that are paid registrations. So they're youth, adult, classes, swim lessons. No, it does not. No, because there's not a maximum minimum. These are just your classes that you offer, your classes and lessons. And so if you look at the table, in 2014, you can see that from 14 to 15, there was a growth in the number of classes that you offered, and also growth in the number of zero enrollments, however your percentage went up. So what that means is there were 370 classes that were offered in 2014. 152 of those did not make because they did not meet the minimum. So a 41% cancellation rate. That went up in 2015 to 51%. And, I think with some marketing and some other things, we can get that to move up as well. And then just the slots are also down there as well. So the enrollments is another big area that we looked at. And you'll see in 2015, that top bar, you were right at $200,000 in revenue for your rental revenues. And again, a good increase from, almost a $30,000 increase from the previous year. And so if you look at your main source of rental income is the community room. Again, you saw growth over the 2 years. The ice rink is second, shelters, the pool, and then athletic fields maintained really pretty close to the same. The gymnasium went down, and one of the reasons that the gymnasium rentals went down is that the members were complaining that there wasn't time for them to use the gym. It was being rented too often. And so the department made a conscious effort to listen to their members and to offer additional time for their members during some of the peak times. And so you can see that accounted for about $3,000 in lost revenue, which is just not a great amount in the full scheme of things as you look at revenue. Again, you can see increases in all of those, $199,000 in rental income last year. One of the things that, to note, since it's your largest rental revenue source is your community rentals. And you can see that the number of rentals went up substantially from 14 to 15, as well as the number of hours that were being reused from 14 to 15. So in 2008, we talked about cost recovery. So in 2008, you did a cost recovery and services analysis. Actually, we did for you cost recovery and services analysis. And we did public input users and the department, the citizens of the department. We came up with this pyramid, which is the cost recovery pyramid. The bottom level of that is what we call the mostly community benefit. And you'll see that those are drop-in, non-monitored programs and activities, your parks, your trails, your open spaces, your playgrounds, those things. The very top of that pyramid is the mostly personal or individual benefit. So that's a private or semi-private swimming lesson, tennis lesson, personal training session, equipment rentals, those type things that are in that top. And then the middle three tiers are where your other programs fall. Again, some being determined to be a greater benefit to the community than individually. So a school-age camp is really, has a lot of community benefit to it as well as some individual benefit. And so through that process, you'll see on the right-hand side of the pyramid that the minimum cost recovery percentages are kind of listed out through there. So the bottom level at 10%, the second tier at a minimum of 50%, going all the way up to the top tier, a minimum of 150%. And so as you average all of that, kind of what came out of the process was that your cost recovery goal was 60% across all of those tiers of the direct expenses related to those programs, plus 10% of your full-time personnel related to the programs. And so that was how that was established in 2008, and so it's kind of it's evolved since then, and currently the way that the cost recovery was reported is that it is all of your expenses and all of your revenue, looking to be that 60-40. You're pretty close at 45% subsidy. One of the things that they did do is they did take your current, in 2015, it took the full expenses and the full revenues, and I did all of your part-time personnel plus 35% of their benefits, and then 10% of your full-time salary. And you were at 2015, you were at 98% cost recovery. So if you follow this kind of formula, 10% of your full-time personnel, you'd be at almost at 100%. So as we look at the pyramid and the tiers, one of the things that I noticed is there were 31 programs that were associated with the tiers. The majority of those in that 2, 3, and 4 tier. 19 of those programs, almost two-thirds of them in the tier 2, so that 50% minimum. 8 of the 31 were not meeting their minimum goals. So 26% of those were not meeting their minimum goals. Of those, so your small group training, your softball tournaments, your lifeguard training, and your single private lessons weren't meeting their full revenue goals. However, if you look at the entire pyramid and all 31 of those programs, the overall cost recovery of those programs was at 146% versus the overall program being at 60%. So I'm not concerned as much about them not meeting their goals, but about how you distribute programs through the tier. So one of the recommendations would be to kind of look at that. We recommend kind of do it every couple of years, and so it's something that we'll help with. So look at the facilities again, and the community center cost recoveries for 13, 14, and 15. I got that data from a report from the finance department. And then the ice rink and the aquatics came through the rec track report. Aquatics, I put an asterisk beside it because it's hard to pull out a full cost recovery there because the aquatic memberships are tied up in the community center memberships. So it's best we could look at revenue generation minus memberships and expenses is what we kind of reported. We looked at as the kind of cost recovery there. So you see that the ice rink is doing well, really for where it's generating revenue 6 months out of the year, kind of that October, that Halloween to St. Patrick's Day is the kind of the season, as it were. So it's doing very well there. And then again, you're reporting through the community center. So again, we looked at your revenue sources. Community center being big one, and those two big ones being memberships and day passes. program revenue, classes, camps, youth and adult athletics, adult fitness, rentals, the ice rink, and the swimming pool. And so, as we look at all of those and look at all of the data that we gathered, the areas of improvement where we can make some improvements and either reduce some costs or generate some additional revenue, your memberships, marketing awareness is one big thing. We heard that both through the survey as well as through the focus groups. And I think that is, one of the examples that I use is if you look at a YMCA, when they open up a YMCA, when they get ready to open a YMCA, the first person they hire is the executive director. And the second person they hire is their marketing membership services person. And that's to go out and start selling memberships and starting to cultivate their memberships and their members. And so marketing awareness is one of those big pieces that I think we can make some strides in. Program registration and participation, again, as I mentioned earlier, looking at cost recovery tiers and adjusting some of those programs along cost recovery tiers. Your rental rates, there's some room in the rental rates to increase revenue there. And then off-season use of the ice rink, again, something outside of that St. Patrick's Day to how the Halloween and St. Patrick's Day season to look at that usage. And then your aquatic facilities usage, there's some area for improvement there as well. And so looking at recommendations, awareness, again, you need a branding and marketing in the community center and the department in the region. Finding the community center, make sure that it is, again, if 26% of our members are non-residents within the region, you've got a great market. So you continue to market them and push. Again, that membership drive, looking at your membership services, doing some membership drives throughout the year. Again, I'll use the Y as an examples there. They run solely on revenue. They do membership drives around Christmas and New Year's, when you're giving presents and you are making New Year's resolutions. They do them on the coast. They do them right around beach season. So when you're going to put your bathing suit on, they do those, and then typically they do something in the fall. And so you've got those 3 points where they're really doing membership drives. They waive their membership fee because I read it somewhere. It's in the 60% range of those people that go and join during that membership drive. They will attend and they will use that facility for 6 to 8 weeks, and then they will stop using for the rest of that year. And so they're still generating their membership fee, they're still getting their monthly membership fee, but they're not overtaxing the facility. So doing those membership drives, again, but what you want to do as a community is you want to encourage your members to get into using. Social media campaigns, member appreciation events are all ways to increase your awareness. And again, engage in the community use of your pool. Looking at the leisure side of your pool for birthday parties and toddler days, those type things to increase that usage of the pool. We looked at your operating structure and again, your membership structure over the next few years. Looking at that, making sure that it is continuing to rise along with your awareness. Looking at your pricing, looking at the benefits that you're offering your members. Don't over-benefit your members so that you're losing revenue in classes that you could generate revenue in. Don't over-benefit your members. Evaluating your resident and your non-resident policy, your rates. Looking at that is one of the things that they're doing to increase that. Looking at your year-round ice rink operations, or if you're not going to invest in that, looking at the possibility of contracting that operations out, or doing some sort of a public-private partnership during the ice season, so that you'll reduce some of your personnel costs, you reduce some of your operating costs. I would recommend that you still maintain the ice. But you operating your own equipment, what we don't want to do is to contract out and have somebody using your equipment. So I still having some investment there. evaluating, auditing your existing contracts and leases with your vendors. Making sure that you're looking at those, making sure you're reviewing, evaluating. One of the examples is the outfitters that use your boat ramps. They pay a per head fee. Making sure that those are being reported properly, making sure that those are being paid on time, and making sure that that per head fee is reasonable, within the region for what you're asking. And then considering your programs, program times, member needs. You're a relatively young community, and so looking at, there's adult social sports, being prepared for some of those upcoming sports, and you'll see it on the next slide. Pickleball is one that is growing, one of the fastest growing in the country, and communities are investing in it, and so making sure you're staying on top of those. So staffing, there's some opportunities for some reorganization, your current staffing, to make it for more efficient management. One of the things that you can consider, you have a building maintenance foreman right now, and you could look at consolidating some of your other public facilities under that foreman. I think there's some capacity there that you could realize some savings and some efficiencies there. Through your organization, looking at hiring a marketing membership services position to really kind of take that all and with that, both the department, membership services, your front desk operations, so your front desk there at the center, and also for the city itself. In the region, you can also do some other things along those lines. And then evaluate contracting some of your services. Officials one, and then the ice rink. Also, if you want to hire somebody, you start out with looking at contracting and marketing, and also your janitorial. I know that most of the locations that I've worked in, many of the communities I've worked with, sports officials are not part-time employees. They're contracted, they're just paid on a contracted per game basis. So there's some savings there through your benefits and some other pieces. So capital improvements, continuing to improve and upgrade your existing facilities and amenities was one of the top things that we heard through the survey, as well as through the focus groups. And as you go around and look, you've got great facilities, some of them have been loved to death. And so, making sure that you're continuing to improve those, upgrade those, keeping those up. Repurposing, you have an opportunity maybe to repurpose some space at the community center for greater participation. There's a computer lab area behind the front desk is a square footage area that doesn't get a lot of use. And, it could be an area that you could use both for revenue generating programs as well as for member benefits, maybe a spin bike area or a cardio area or something along those lines to help you increase your member services. And then improvements to the ice rink to use year-round, whether that is, insulating the roof so that you can use it a little on either side, three weeks or so on either side of that ice season, as well as during the summer, so it's not quite as hot. Looking at investing in other uses for that rink in the off-season, whether that's indoor soccer, whether that's, pickleball, some of those other activities that you can, again, look at some revenue generation, get a return on your investment for those improvements to that facility. And so some other considerations that we have, continue your conversion to more efficient, energy efficient lighting and HVAC, it's reducing your utility costs, so it will continue to reduce your costs, which increases your cost recovery. Continue to grow the outdoor recreation programs. Looking at, again, these were some of the recommendations that came out of the focus groups. Looking at providing introduction and instructional classes in outdoor recreation, whether that's contracting with some of your outfitters to do fly fishing lessons, stand-up paddleboarding, whitewater kayaking, some of those. Doing the introduction side of those, that instructional side through the department. I know you do some of those in the pool right now, kind of increasing that. And the other thing is considering looking at hosting adventure races. Kind of along that Tough Mudder, realm, or just the kind of the outdoor triathlon, not your traditional, swim, bike run, but looking at something that's maybe whitewater rafting, whitewater kayaking, and then off-road biking, off-road run, some of those things. You've got opportunities, you've got a great, natural resources here, and you don't have a huge capital investment in adventure races. So you're using your current infrastructure, and you're not having to either build a full-field, soccer complex or something. So you can, one, you're still getting your participants and your visitors come in for a weekend. Because typically, like with a triathlon, what you would do is you would have a sprint one day, so shorter distance, and you probably keep your kids race on a Saturday. And then on a Sunday, you would have your premier event. So you would have people here Friday, they come in a day early. Many of them for your Sunday event probably come in on Thursday, because they want to do the course a couple of times before they do it. And so, you're extending and you're offering that opportunity through your adventure races. Again, and it may sound like a broken record, I see it all across the country. Pickleball is a great, sport, a great place that's growing. One of the communities I worked in, Wake Forest, as part of the master planning process, they did a bond referendum and they built an 8 pickleball court complex so that they can host tournaments and host leagues. And a year later, they wish they had built a 16-court facility because it's being used so much. And so, again, it's a smaller footprint. You can generate revenue through league play, also through tournaments. There's not a complex in the region right now, so you could be out ahead of that. Potential growth, repurposing. Sayre Park, the rodeo grounds, the airport, the open space at Sopris, that kind of 5-acre parcel down by the river behind the high school, all opportunities that you can, one, increase your active park space, as well as look at some other possibilities of some rectangle or some diamond fields if you want to, if we move in that direction. And I think from what I've seen through the early stages of the inventory, there is some deficit and there's some need for some additional rectangle and diamond fields within your community. So looking at those opportunities. Develop and contract seasonal recreation opportunities, whether that's, Tubing Hills was mentioned, cross-country skiing, mountain bike trails, additional river parks, those things. Again, if there's seasonal operations, it's really not something that you want to hire staff to run and do. It's something that you could do the capital investment, contract it with somebody, and again, like you do with your, at your boat ramps. You could get a per head fee, or a percentage of the revenue from them. You don't have the staff costs along with that. Again, looking at an attraction tax, or looking at the possibility of a special park district, looking at those opportunities. Also the use of social media, the use of GoFundMe. There are a lot of communities around the country that are doing GoFundMe campaigns for specific projects. Pickleball complex, could be one of those projects that you do a GoFundMe for, and so those are all opportunities for additional sources to consider, and things that we'll expand on in the final report.
All right. Thanks, Art. Any questions for Art? That's kind of a lot to digest.
I have a couple of questions. This is the second time I've heard it, so I'm not so overwhelmed by all that information. Did you say the YMCA's were solely funded by their own revenue? Or does the YMCA get, other funding sources? Or is it totally membership driven?
They're membership driven. They're membership driven.
Across the country, that's how YMCA is funded by members.
Well, the memberships and then donations. And
Okay,
so,
they do get donations.
yes, yeah. They take their
drive for infrastructure to build. They do large fund drives to build.
Yeah, they'll do fundraising campaigns for their capital.
Capital organizations.
And then in a lot of cases, they will, depending on where they are, they may have an arrangement with the municipality that they're in, or if they're, in a county, with municipalities in the county for some, like a special district, for some sort of, a minimum annual, fee, looking at relieving the city or the county from some of those recreation impacts.
So I don't know how far you, I know you're going to come back in another month or so, a little over a month. But it sounds like the non-resident members, that maybe that would be a good area to focus on.
Absolutely.
I mean, that we are a regional shopping area, or regional hub of Garfield County. So I think maybe reach out a little further. It sounds like that's kind of one of the things you're thinking.
Yes.
Focus on.
Yeah, and what we will do is, kind of as you see through the recommendations, we will, instead of having a singular approach to, this is what you should do to do that, is a combination of things that together will really kind of increase and up the, your revenue potential through awareness, through some operational restructuring, through some staffing restructuring, through some capital investment.
Carl, can I ask you a quick question? Sure. I would ask a question. You mentioned the other day that the community has passed a recreational district. Or was that the open space?
It's open space, I can't remember what, as I recall, and I don't remember, and so I'm talking out of turn. I thought that the district itself passed, but the funding for it not, something like that. That was early to mid-2000s.
I remember that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly, so I don't remember whatever happened to that. I guess what it's reflective for me, at least, is there, at least at the time, funding aside, there was a real appetite for kind of that open space, parks, recreational activities out there in the community. And so I think that's certainly something that we may want to look at, because we do offer regional services, and it's one approach, recognizing that it fractures government somewhat, because then that's a separate quasi-governmental entity that is operating independent of your control. So there's pluses and minuses to setting up special districts, depending on what you view as your core functions.
I hear that a lot out there in my circles, people wanting to look more into this. So
Is it possible that if some new measure were to be passed, that we wouldn't have to create a completely separate board, it could simply be, under the city council?
If you want to have it be the boundaries of the city.
I see. So if it goes outside of the boundaries of the city, it cannot be...
Yeah, I mean, it's a different way. Essentially, a special district in Colorado is funded by user fees and property taxes. So you're really asking those two questions. If you're looking at making it more regional, a special district is by statute a separate quasi-governmental entity. And like I said, I mean, there are pluses and minuses to that. Pluses you see is if you look into the Eaglevale Valley, I mean, that had some amazing recreational facilities, particularly their soccer complex in the Edwards area. But there again, that's not underneath, that's under that rec district's control. It's not under a particular, council or county control.
Got it. Okay.
I've got
ahead.
one question. When I go into the community center, a lot of times it looks like the community rooms are not being utilized. And could we be, I know you've suggested some things that maybe could be, you mentioned birthday parties and things like that for the pool area. Would that also hold true for for those kind of rooms, they seem to be used more in the evening than during the day.
Absolutely, and, I think one of the things when you kind of look at a community center or recreation center, kind of that 6 a.m. to 8 or 8:30, it's really busy because people want to get in there before work. That 11 to 1, it's pretty busy, lunchtime, both for meetings as well as for participation, and then kind of that 5 o'clock to closing. And so, as you look at the room reservations, they kind of fall into those same peak times. So one of the things that, that we will recommend is a lot of other facilities do, is they'll look at those non-peak times, and so they'll offer discounted rates for doing activities in those non-peak times. And so, there are opportunities for birthday parties or, business meetings, those type things that, yes.
Okay. I also wonder whether or not you would recommend closing the ice rink to either keep it ice all year round or or the creation or building of a indoor soccer field?
There are two options, really, it just depends on how much of a capital investment you want to make to make it usable. And so, one thing may be to insulate the roof and increase the circulation there to see how your participation is going kind of in that off-season. And if it's really, big and warrants closing it in, then you're going to insulate it anyway if you're going to enclose it. And so you've already kind of made that investment, you've already gotten some return on that. Then you can look down the road to enclose it. I think there is some benefit to fully enclosing that facility. I think you can get more use out of it. Again, it's, you're looking at $100,000 to insulate the roof and do some, you're looking at more like, $1.5 million to enclose, maybe even $2 million because you're going to have to look at, HVAC and all of those pieces. But, again, if you can start to generate the, kind of the excitement around using it year-round out of that shoulder season. I don't know that you really need ice. I mean, the hockey folks that I talked to at the focus groups didn't, really clamoring for year-round ice. They would like more kind of in their season, so. But yeah, I think there are some benefits there.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Questions for Art? Just like to say thanks. I think you've gone a long ways toward giving us some good recommendations. I'm looking forward to your final report in another month and a half or so, or a little over a month.
Yeah, the 20th.
The
date's I hit the ground running.
Is there any input you could use from us before you proceed with that?
I think right now, your questions were good. Nobody jumped out of your seat at any other recommendations or any of the things that I talked about. Doesn't sound like I really kind of left any stone unturned, as we looked at this. And so, I think you'll be pleased with the final report, both the master plan, as I was talking yesterday meeting. This is the point where the master plan update and the strategic business plan really kind of begin to come together and create this document for you. And I think you'll be very pleased with both of those pieces.
Mike, I have one more question for you. On the reorganization,
yes, ma'am.
will you give us specifics or will you be speaking more in generalities?
One of the things that we've talked about is when I come on the 20th, yes, I think I do have some specific recommendations. And we talked about the possibility, since they are kind of personnel issues, of doing a closed session to talk about those specifics and look at, right now, I've got 3 options kind of organizational charts. And so doing some sort of closed session, since it's a personnel issue, and going over those with you, and then presenting kind of the full master plan in general terms about the reorg.
Okay, great.
So you will have seen that.
All right. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, next agenda item is planning item 20-16, consideration of a special use permit for a retail marijuana establishment for the manufacturing of marijuana-infused products. The applicant is Jeffrey Norval, the owner is Mark Weller. Location is 3441 South Grand Avenue, Unit C2, Zone District C3, General Commercial. And we have Trent here to tell us all about it.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. As you stated, we have a proposal for the manufacturing of marijuana-infused products, commonly referred to as MIPS. And this use actually falls under both the retail marijuana establishment and medical marijuana business definitions as per the municipal code. So while we have what is proposed here is an extraction business only that has no retail component, it still falls under those definitions. As you are aware, this use requires additional licensing through both the state and the city. The proposal is to use approximately 575 square feet of the existing sunlight storage building that's located at 3441 South Grand Avenue address. Here's a picture of that existing building. It's in a neighborhood that has a lot of warehousing, manufacturing businesses along this stretch of South Grand. There are some residential uses in some of the adjacent buildings. These are mixed use, kind of like first floor manufacturing, second level type residential units that you'll find there. The design of this property is C1, C3 general commercial. You'll find that to the both east and west with similar uses. To the south, you'll see initially is the Roaring Fork River, and then further south is single-family residential developments zoned R16 and PUD. And to the north, this property is zoned R2, limited multifamily, and that is the location of the Rosebud Cemetery. There are many different extraction methods that are out there, many that use non-combustible and combustible gases, including carbon dioxide, butane, propane, and or other chemicals to extract the oil from marijuana plants. The current proposal includes an extraction process that only utilizes heat and compression. Basically, the product is warmed to anywhere from 120 to 180 degrees and then hydraulically compressed to extract the oil. That will then be marketed to other regional retail and medical facilities. Section 704040A1 outlines the special use review permit considerations. A, being that the applicant or the application has demonstrated safe pedestrian access to the site. Again, this is an existing location, and this section of South Grand does not meet the city's standard streetscape requirements, and referring to mainly sidewalks, planting strips, other aspects of the road as well. And this proposal, again, does not include a retail storefront. There is parking for the site that's provided, so it doesn't have a negative impact on pedestrian access to this existing building. B, the application has demonstrated safe and adequate vehicular circulation. Again, there are no changes to the existing site. There are 2 spaces that are dedicated for this business. Staff does want to have a little better understanding exactly where these spaces are located and in regards to other uses at the site. We also just want to confirm there's ADA space at this site as well. C, the proposed use is compatible with the character of the neighborhood. And to reiterate, it's in a neighborhood with similar manufacturing, mixed use, with some residential units. The use will not propose any changes to the building and will not change the the visual appearance of the site, and no signage is proposed for this use either. D, the proposal mitigates any potential negative impacts to surrounding properties. I'm going to discuss odor kind of in our special use review considerations for this specific use coming up next. And those you'll find in section 70404815 of the municipal code. A being compliance with special use review considerations that we previously discussed. B, that no marijuana establishment shall be located within 500 feet of an existing public or private school, or 900 feet of another medical or retail marijuana establishment. This site does meet those requirements. C, the proposal mitigates the potential for offensive odor. As you know, in many of our discussions with this use, odor is the main concern in regards to nuisances to adjacent properties and to our city in general. And we currently do not have any infused product manufacturing occurring. We've approved one permit that use kind of never came to fruition. Staff is not necessarily sure that this proposed use or extraction type, what will emit in terms of odor. The applicant does propose the leading technology for this would be carbon filters with their filtration system, their air filtration system there. We are also recommending a special, or condition of a special use permit that would require compliance with this and put this specific permit kind of at risk of losing their permit if they do not address this sufficiently. D, the storage of marijuana shall not exceed 25% of licensed premises. They propose approximately 9 square feet for storage of marijuana, and that represents about 1.5% of the area that they're renting. Hours of operation shall be from 8 to 7, that's what the application proposes, and all signage shall be in compliance with applicable sections of the municipal code. Again, no signage proposed for this use. The engineering department and water and sewer department did provide some comments just in terms of meeting state regs for this use, addressing the odor concern, and just general specifications for providing water to the site. We did not receive any comments from adjacent property owners. We did receive one comment regarding to a past misdemeanor conviction of the applicant. 3 options for action on this proposal. 1, to approve the special use review permit. 2, to deny the permit. Or 3, to continue the hearing to a future date and attempts to request additional information from the applicant. Planning and Zoning Commission considered this application on August 23rd, 2016, and they voted unanimously to recommend approval of the permit to City Council. Staff also recommends approval of the special use permit. There are 10 conditions that staff recommends with this application. I have those listed here. We can go into those in more specific detail if you'd like. The applicant, Jeff Norville, is here, and I believe I'd like to speak to you as well.
Thanks, Trent. Wait, before you go away, Trent, any questions for Trent before you hear from the applicant? Okay, sorry.
Good evening. Thank you for taking time to speak to me. My name is Jeffrey Norwell. I'm a resident of Funland Springs, Colorado. I'm pretty much here to answer any questions. I know this is kind of a technical process, and that's my main goal, presenting myself in front of you today. So I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the process, as much as I possibly for you.
Could you briefly explain to us the process that you're going to be going through?
Yeah.
Where, I think, I don't want to speak for anybody up here, but I'd be surprised if odor wasn't the biggest issue that we're going to have up here, which I have a very good comeback to when the time comes.
Absolutely.
So I promise you something good. But I'm very interested to hear what you have to say, because
Sure.
this is my only operation.
The process is rather simple. It's not being used right now across the country very much, but it's been around for centuries. people getting oils out of plants this way forever for the most part. You pretty much put any material, in this case it's going to be marijuana, in between two steel blocks, put a hydraulic press right on the top of it, press it to anywhere between 1 and 5 tons. The oil comes out of the material. Regarding marijuana, in this specific use, this is a newer thing. Like I said, people have been doing it for about the past 5 years and putting it on the market in Colorado, but as far as the technology and all that, it's getting a little newer by the day. So as far as odor is concerned, I'm 100% aware that it's going to be the biggest problem. We've gone over it with every panel we've been in. I've gone to great lengths to combat what we think will be the odor. Because there's not many of these operations in Colorado, and because they're so tight-knit on how they do it, and they let it in their facilities, it's really hard to figure out exactly how much odor is going to be emitted from this machine. I've been around this for quite some time. I don't think it's going to be any more than a CO2 or butane extraction machine. That being said, we have gone to local avenues as well as national manufacturers for their recommendations on how we should get through this problem. This is the main thing with this. We don't want to offend anybody. The last thing we want to do is get this all smoothed over and then have somebody complain and right back here. So that's a huge thing for us. I believe we've settled on a unit that we think is effective for the space. I guess only time will tell. So.
Thanks. Any other questions for Mr. Norval? I actually have a couple, and it's more almost just out of curiosity. What happens with your waste material after you press the oils out of the marijuana?
We're going to be operating solely on a processing basis, so all of our waste will go back to wherever the starting material came from. It gets shipped straight back to it gets delivered back to the grower or the dispensary that starting material came from along with their rendered oil.
Do you have a specific grow facility that you'll be working with them on?
Yeah. The state will put us in that state software, that state mandated software. That'll pretty much open us up to vendors, growers, retail establishments who pretty much have product they're going to be getting rid of, and we're going to come in and give them oil out of it.
Are the oils recreational oils, or is there any medical?
There's a huge medical component. Absolutely.
So both?
Yeah, absolutely. As with most things in this industry, there's medical, and then it's gone to recreational. People are using it solely for that. But in this process, if you look more into, I don't know if you know anything about the CBD part of the plant, the most health part of the plant, we can actually target those strains and extract them to get just CBD oil. There's a lot of opportunities in it. It's mostly medical. We started this to help people, so that's why we're doing it.
So, besides extracting oils, are you also in fact infusing products? Are you making
Absolutely not. We will not be doing any kind of cooking, any kind of. This product is ready to use after it comes off press. It can be ingested orally, it can be vaporized, or be smoked, just like regular marijuana.
And this is kind of perhaps a bizarre question, but I'm going to ask anyway. So I imagine at times you have to clean up your equipment and so on, and you're going to be washing that, and that's going to go down the drain. I know that in the wastewater treatment industry, there's a increasing problem with pharmaceuticals actually being in the waste stream.
Sure.
Our wastewater plants aren't designed to remove those, so we're having a problem with aquatic life rivers. And how much of your oils wind up in the sewer going into sewer plant?
I can tell you virtually none. If any did, I'd be losing a ton of money. This product is measured by the half gram to the gram. When we do clean up machines, we use paper towels and isopropyl alcohol. Just sprayed on the paper. I mean, there's nothing going down the drain. We then throw those paper towels right into the trash and take them out the trash. Minimal residue. If there's a lot, I'm losing money. So.
Okay. Okay.
Probably. Not very minimal, if anything, down the drains.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Norwell?
Do you have any future plans? I mean, if you are granted approval and you get your license, even though you're only going to be producing oil right now, down the road, if you have a license, you have the option to utilize that license to its full extent. Do you have any future plans?
Nothing solid right now. I'm working on a few things, also solventless, containing no gases, but nothing right now. These are just ideas, and it'd be a long time before that ever was brought to fruition.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess I do have a question a little bit for staff going back to the odor issue. I recognize that it's a condition of approval that I don't see it on the screen right now, but it has something to the effect of if there's a problem with odor, there's a process by which the special use permit will be withdrawn or something to that effect. Can you just go through how that process would work? Who would decide that there is or isn't a problem? Obviously, different people have different sensitivities to odor, and so, if anyone smells it anywhere, is that a problem, or is there some measurable standard that we're going to use, and who is the arbiter of that, and maybe...
Well, you are the arbiter of that.
So we got to go out and smell it?
Yeah,
Send your friend.
You can send your friend. Sorry. So as with any odor complaint, whether it's coming from a greenhouse operation for tomatoes or, right, exactly. Right. Any of those things, technically there shouldn't be any others emitting, past the property line theoretically. I think the best you can do is apply a reasonable standard when you get a complaint. By way of example, everybody in the valley knew that there was an issue with grow operation by salt, because you drive by it, and everybody in the valley drove by, you knew. So you guys are who's going to be making that decision. And I think you just have to look at the evidence that's in front of you at that point. I don't think the city is really in a position where they want to invest in technology to be able to measure particulates and really, because essentially that's becoming a thing in the industry to deal with these problems. So my recommendation is for now, the condition gives you enough authority and leverage, if you will, to try to deal with the problem. I will tell you, this is an industry that is profitable enough that people try to get it fixed rather than face replication.
Right.
Yeah, and just kind of bringing you back to a previous application, we tried to apply the same standard to this use as we did to the dog daycare just up the road there in terms of setting out a policy that it's going to be based on complaints that we've received and processing those complaints through our municipal court system so that we can make sure that they're valid complaints, that the witnesses are willing to come out and testify. To give you at least something to base a revocation of a permit on. And that's number 10 there now for you, Mike.
Okay.
I just have a quick question. Trent, are the conditions that you put on the screen, are they the same conditions that PNC had?
Yes. Yes, they were pretty much the conditions recommended by staff with this minor language tweaking.
Okay.
And I could ask the applicant, was the applicant okay with those conditions at the PMZ? Yes. Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Any more questions for the applicant or Trent, or anyone got any other friends who want to? All right, at this point, we'll open it up to public comment. If there's anyone from the public who would like to comment on this application, now's your chance. Going once, going twice, sold, or closed, or whatever. Okay, we'll close the public comment portion, bring it back to council for discussion and oral motion. Pushing button.
Oh, I voted.
Okay.
Steve already alluded to it, but I just want to say something about the odor issue. Every day from about 11 o'clock on, my neighborhood reeks of coffee. I have loves the smell of coffee, so it doesn't bother me too much. But some days it's really, really thick. The coffee roaster is just down the street from one of the proposed businesses. So my point I'm getting at, and Carl already alluded to it, I think that the odor issue is probably not going to be nearly as bad as some of the existing uses already. And I don't think the neighbors across the street are going to play too much. That's all I got to say. So, I'd like to move to approve up to Tom. That's all right. I would move to approve planning item 20-16 in consideration of a request for a special use permit for a retail marijuana establishment and medical marijuana business for the manufacturing of marijuana-infused products with the conditions where they findings. Conditions and findings listed in the staff report, all 10 of them.
I would second that.
All right, we have a motion to approve the special use permit for retail marijuana establishment and medical marijuana business for manufacturing of marijuana-infused products. And a second, any further discussion? Let's go ahead and call the question.
Trotter, yes. McKenna, yes. Davis, yes. Gamba, yes. Olenka, yes. Stecker, yes. Wilcox, unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, next we have a planning item 21-16, consideration of amendment to a major development, major subdivision, and PD development plan. The applicant is Peter Waller. The owner is Silver Sage Preserve LLC, location is Lot 2, Kingdom Hall subdivision in the vicinity of Airport Road and Forma Roads. And I suspect there's no presentation because
There's not. I requested the applicant and actually staff to work with the applicant on a couple of issues on that application. We asked this to be continued to the next regular city council meeting, which is October 6th. I can't keep that in my head.
So moved.
All right, we don't have to do anything other than that, right?
Right, you need to move second.
Right. We don't have to open it up to the public.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion by Leo and a second by Catherine to continue planning item 21-16 until the regular council meeting on October 6th. Any further discussion? Let's go ahead and call the question.
Trotter, yes. McKenna, yes. Davis, yes. Gamba, yes. Olenka, yes. Stecker, yes. Wilcox, unanimous.
All right, next item is a discussion regarding the Glen Springs Youth Hockey Association ice rink advertising for 2016 and 17. We have a presentation by Mr.
Hopefully this is pretty quick. Okay, so the Park and Rec Department, we have an annual contract with Glenwood Youth Hockey for the sale of dashboard ads. And that's what's sitting before you tonight is approval of the advertising agreement for 2016-17. We're asking for an approval of the updated contract with Glenwood Springs Youth Hockey Association, including optional annual renewals for 3 years, effective September 1st, because that coincides with their fiscal year. The Glenwood Springs Youth Hockey Association is proposing to pay $2,000 in rental fees for ice rink advertising space per the contract year, with the funds going to either the Two Rivers Community Foundation or to the city's general fund, whichever council directs. In the past, those dollars have gone into the Two Rivers Community Foundation. In addition, the city will be reimbursed for the cost of installation of the ads, and these funds will be returned to the general fund. The installation cost fees will be. This proposal is a designated rental fee, not a percentage of ad sales. The city should retain some control over the types of ads that can be sold, so it's consistent with our philosophies and policies in the city. And I've explained the contract here. And really, all we're asking is that you approve the contract as proposed, including Glenwood Springs Youth Hockey Association retaining any sales revenue generated for the 2015-2016 year per their request.
Thanks, Tom.
You bet. Any questions?
Yeah, okay, so we approved this tonight, what's the change in revenue to the city and to the community foundation, all that? I understand we get a $2,000 flat fee, but if this were in effect today, what would that, what's change, from a revenue standpoint?
$5,000 to $10,000 a year that would go into the Two Rivers Community Foundation. That really, it's been the last couple of years since TK has been more involved with it. The ad sales have increased over the last couple of years. And for instance, when we did the support facility, we took between $10,000 and $15,000 that was in the Two Rivers Community Foundation and finished off some purchases for the support facility, utilizing those dollars. So we're going to be getting, we would be getting a flat $2,000 a year. And whether it goes into the general fund or Two Rivers Community Foundation, you folks make the call. So, Matt, if I were to give you a number, I'd say it's between $5,000 and $8,000 a year.
Okay.
This is how it impacts us.
All right, let's just.
I have a question regarding, if it goes to the Two Rivers Community Foundation, is it just, do they just hold it?
Yes, it's held in a specific, we have a number of accounts there. As opposed to us having our own foundation, we opted a number of years ago to utilize the Two Rivers Community Foundation as our holding fund. And so there's a specific line item for the ice rink. And those dollars would go right into that, and they roll over from year to year. It's an accrual.
Since it just keeps it from being eaten up in the general fund.
Great.
Does the Two Rivers Fund, does any other money go in there other than the dashboard ads?
Oh, yeah.
What other money?
We have money that goes into that for the, let's see, Whitewater Activity Area. We have had donations made for the Performing Arts Center, Kayak Park, some other small items.
Mostly donations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not revenue.
No
Okay.
revenue.
Okay.
It's all donations.
Great.
Any other questions for Tom?
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to say anything to us about this item? No? Okay.
Is this good for Grizzly Hockey? Is this kind of what you guys were, hoping for? Yeah, so you guys are good.
You guys get more additional revenue, that's going to go towards expanding participation, scholarship, anything like that. It doesn't go to TC's strict
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, while you're here, I just want to say you've done a wonderful program with that, or a wonderful job with that program. It really brought a lot of success to a lot of families. So thank you for what you do with that program.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep, I would third that, and I guess at this point, I would be happy to consider a motion in regard to this contract, or agreement.
I will move for approval of the updated contract with Glenwood Springs Youth Hockey Association, including the optional annual renewal for 3 years, effective 9/1/2016.
Do we need to identify whether we want that 2,000 to go into general fund?
So, Community Foundation, is that the recommendation? Okay. With the funds being, going to Two Rivers Community Foundation.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve the contract as proposed. A 3-year renewal period, is that right? And with $2,000 annual fees to be paid into Two Rivers Community Foundation. Any further discussion? Let's go ahead and call the question.
Troy, yes. McKenna, yes. Davis, yes. Gamble, yes. Delaney, yes. Stecker, yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for staying through all that.
Yep. All right, next we have a discussion regarding the fare policy for Wright Glen Springs during Grand Avenue Bridge closure.
Good evening, everybody. So I think as we're all aware, one of the most important things we're going to have to do during the Grand Avenue Bridge closure is get some people out of their cars and onto their bikes or onto transit or walking to their destinations. One of the best ways, most proven ways to encourage more transit use is to eliminate fares. And RAFTA has already decided to do that for the services that they're going to be providing during the Grand Avenue Bridge closure. And then they have suggested that Ride Glenwood should consider doing so as well. There are obviously some issues with this. Fare-free service would have an impact on the budget. Right now, monthly, we bring in about $10,000 a month in fares. So for the 90-day bridge closure, that's approximately $30,000 that we would lose for fare revenue for the year. Fare revenue does comprise a relatively small percentage of the overall budget of Ride Glenwood. On an annual basis, it's about 10 to 11%. There's really two options in front of us. One is to approve fare-free service on Ride Glenwood for this period, or we could maintain our existing fare policy. The advantage, obviously, to approving fare-free service is it does send a strong signal that transit's preferred. There is a greater likelihood that more people will in fact choose transit. It will also sort of streamline the process because it could create confusion if people are, the intent of, we're in the process of discussing various transit mitigation strategies right now, but the way RAFTA is looking at this is as a system where Ride Glenwood is a component of the various different bus services that will be provided during the closure, and having a fare on Ride Glenwood and no fare on RAFTA service will create issues and confusion among the public in between. The disadvantage obviously is, as I mentioned, that revenue loss, $30,000 is a substantial sum of money. But based on conversations with Transportation Commission, they've recommended that this is desirable. We agree from a staff standpoint as well. So we suggest that the council approve going fare-free for that period.
Is there any kind of subsidy that we can, and I'm sure we've already asked this question, because this is a CDOT project, and this is one way that we're trying to help them with their project. Do we get any sort of subsidy for our bus service? Or any sort of kickback, do we get any sort of help? That's really what I'm getting at.
Didn't we get some money from Up Valley?
We did.
$385,000.
But that's what's, no, that was paid to. That's how RAFTA is funding they're extending their service all the way to Parachute and Battle Mesa, and as Tanya said, that would be free service, and so they're, I think the EOTC, which I can't remember exactly what that stands for, the
Elected Officials Transportation Commission.
Elected Officials Transportation Commission, okay. They funded, I think, around $350,000-ish, and that's what's paying for RAFTA's change of their service during that three-month period, is my understanding. I think it's going to end up costing, based on the last RAFTA board meeting, it's going to end up costing a little more, I think RAFTA is expecting, than what they have paid, and I think RAFTA is going back to the OTC to see if they can get a little additional funding, which is a good thing. But anyway, that's what I know about that. And yes, I don't disagree that, we've already paid $3 million. Why can't our, we will have paid $3 million, why can't our $3 million go toward, be applied toward this, I guess. So perhaps that's a...
Is there a local grant we go for?
I was going to say the other thing, like you may, as a RAPTA representative, you may see if you could, in that upcoming EOTC ask, see if they would roll in
30 grand.
Yeah, roll in some help for Glenwood, right Glenwood, and
Right. And one thing that we talked about in the Transportation Commission is kind of related, is that right now, Right Glenwood operates on a 30-minute schedule. The bus services, the RAFTA will be running, and Right Glenwood will be providing all the services to the north end of the pedestrian bridge, whereas RAFTA will be providing all the services from the south end of the pedestrian bridge, and they'll be on a 12 to 15-minute cycle, I believe. There's a disconnect between that. One thought that I had is our north-south connector will no longer be necessary. I know that we were planning on discontinuing it. We could consider running it on a half-hour cycle, but alternating it, so it kind of effectively works in a 15-minute cycle just from the Westmont Mall area, I should say, 114 area to the north end of the pedestrian bridge back, see if we could do that on a half-hour cycle for about the same price as we're currently running at, so that we can get that service to the north end to at least match the service on the south end. I don't know, those are things that we also kind of need to monitor, but that would be, again, more cost for us, because I'm not sure what that is costing us on a monthly basis, but it's a free service today, so we're getting no revenue for it, right?
Right, yeah, and that service right now, the cost figures are mixed. We've only been billed for about a month and a half worth of service, but the full month of service was approximately, was like $13,500. So actually more, we're paying more for the north-south connector than we would be absorbing to go fare-free on Ride Glenwood, and we'd be serving a significantly greater number of people.
Yeah. So,
It's not like anyone's opposed to making it fare free. It would be nice to ask between now and then if anybody can help that.
Right, and I would say that RAFTA feels strongly that this is kind of critical to making the whole system function. So it's important to them, so it's worth going back to them in conversations to see.
I'll let you ask.
Yeah.
I'm big of me. All right, so any other questions for Tanya with respect to this? I also saw that we had some information in here about the Operation North-South Connector. Is there anything you want to?
No, I just wanted to provide that information for background. You have a memo in your packet that kind of gives an update on performance of the North-South Shuttle to date. The highlights is performance did improve over the course of the summer, particularly after we instituted some routing changes in July, but we're seeing it tail off again. And overall, ridership is low. Our best week was the second week in August, I believe 506 passengers over the course of that week, and I don't think we're going to see those numbers again. So, as I mentioned, in terms of ridership cost per rider is pretty high. It's hard to calculate this cost accurately right now because, again, as I mentioned, we've only been billed for about a month and a half fully, but, it's $13 per rider approximately, which is pretty rough. We are looking at adjustments that we can make to the routing. There are some possibilities. And these include revisions to the route or possibly better tracking mechanisms to let people know when the vehicles are coming. But in all likelihood, neither of these would lead to substantial increases in ridership, given that the tourist season is.
No, I think our plan was, the original plan was to do this until the pedestrian bridge opens, is that correct?
My understanding is the intent was, I think money was budgeted through this year, and that the intent was to keep this service running until the new pedestrian bridge is open, so March.
But we could stop that at any time.
We could, and I think that's worthy of consideration.
We've talked about this, and I think that it doesn't really go where I need to go. I've always thought it should be a tram-to-train route, which I think you get much better ridership out of. It would service all that hotel, motel area, all the way down to the tram, and it's also a scheduled service, and it needs to just flow. It sits in one place for 10 minutes or more at a time, and I've been in other communities that have this service, and you don't know when it's going to come. It comes every 15 minutes, and if you stand there, it's going to be on you. So I don't appreciate really the way it functions for us.
I don't disagree. I don't know if that's something we want to tackle in this particular meeting.
Let's get through this policy.
Yeah, I think we might do that on another agenda.
I think more than anything, we just wanted to let you know we were looking at it, that it just wasn't sitting out there.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to go back, respond to specific questions, and prepare something more detailed for consideration at a future session.
We can get that on a future agenda here pretty soon.
It doesn't have to be something we do. I mean, if you're not operational, it's better to do it. Use a small one.
All right.
My fear is, the only reason I bring it up is as we go into winter now, I see going days without any ridership on that.
And I hate to watch people try and cross 6th and Laurel, that intersection is terribly dangerous, so if we could get it beyond that, anyway.
Right.
So do we need a motion on this item tonight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would, any more questions?
Yeah, go for it.
I was just going to make a motion to approve the fare policy during the Grand Avenue Bridge closure as presented in staff report.
Second.
All right, motion by Leo and a second by Todd to approve fair policy during Grand Avenue Bridge closure of basically eliminating fares on Glenwood. Any further questions? Early voter? Go ahead and cast your votes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Carmen, yes. Megan, yes. David, yes. Gavin, yes. Lady, yes. Secretary, yes. Motion passes.
Thanks, Tanya.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, next item is a discussion regarding the county road and bridge mill levy share back.
I was going to address this one. The county in 2015 received $318,000 from the county road and bridge mill levy share back. It was cut in half in 2016. We got $160,000 that they kind of went under the radar. We got word that the county is hoping to eliminate that in their 2017 budget. And I was essentially requesting that we write a letter asking that they do not do that, and/or have someone go, I think their meeting is going to be October 5th, to express the fact that we don't want that impact to our budget.
Was this brought to attention by the vice president?
Yes.
So they're
I have not heard from anyone.
I
I emailed that today, I haven't heard back yet. So, do we want to do a joint letter, do we?
The reason I'm getting at that is that there is that kind of broad support. My take on all this over the years is that has more effect on county commissioners if we do it as a unified group versus
Yes, I agree.
I don't know what this means, but you don't.
I think that's actually a good point. You know, I think that while $160,000 isn't anything to sneeze at, it's probably less significant to us than it might be to some of the other communities in Garfield County. And I think, you know, we have a lot of issues that we want to try and work together with those communities on. I think maintaining a good supportive relationship with them is important. So I would actually encourage Deborah to go ahead and call the city managers in Newcastle still, even Carbondale. I don't know if Carbondale's aware of what's going on.
Yeah, it's hard to say if they're not, but I'm sure that if, it wouldn't surprise me if Matt didn't reach out to everybody, but even so, getting it back on the radar, because I do think, I don't know about Carbondale, but I think the Newcastle and Salt is going to be significant as well.
Yeah, I would agree. And just to let them know that we're, at least I believe, we'll probably be sending a letter requesting the county not eliminate this, and it's very important for the communities in Garfield County, and that, you know.
I would also like to say that if the money is not removed, that it would go towards road maintenance, because it's not in the past, and it should.
Okay.
If
I
we
would
get to keep it.
I would be good with that.
It's just another good basis to do this, or was it,
I
is it discretionary to stop this?
read the CML article that Matt passed along, that I passed along to you, and it sounds like the state put it in place, but there's a loophole. And this is the loophole, they don't have to pass the money on to us.
They can take the levy down, or they can increase it, or something to that effect.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of counties actually realized that that loophole was there until, I think it was Adams County maybe, started the thing. So this was discussed at CML last night, so I know Carbondale was aware of it, so I was aware of it. I don't think Newcastle was there, but.
So do we know how much this entire share pool is?
I do not.
I would guess we got 160, is my guess is it doesn't have
It's probably more than that. I think Rifle's share this year would have been 300-ish. So, I mean, the difference between the move down from 2015, or 2014, 2015 to 2016, you know, as they ratcheted that down, I think they had it last year. So my guess is it was probably north of $1 million last year. You know, somewhere in that, I don't know, 750 to $1 million for 2015. Or you know, this was in the 2016 budget that we're seeing now, and if they ratchet down again. So it's not insubstantial.
And I think, to Matt Sturgeon's point in his letter about that if it goes completely away, I mean, reducing it is one thing, but eliminating it, it basically takes a vote of the people to bring it back or something like that.
I think it probably would. You know, that's something I haven't spent time on, and I don't know if that was discussed at the district meeting or not, and then Jim was there. And
it wasn't that particular thing wasn't really discussed, but what was discussed is that it takes the majority of the, they have to get approval from the majority of the municipalities within the county to do that, is my understanding.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, it's certainly something that, I mean, you know, we represent 3 of the 5 towns in the cities in the county, so can talk to my partners over coffee on what they do. I could.
I don't think it has to be a really complicated.
I know. I'm not sure if this is commenting on my skill level, because I'm comforted in that.
So we need a formal motion to move forward with that, or are you good?
I think if you just tell me yes, it's okay to go and.
Does anyone got any problem with this? All right, great. So yes, go ahead. Yeah. Yep. All right. Next item, council reports on board, committee, and commission meetings. Everybody attending this month?
did, everything so
And I'll let you do transportation and Brandon. Oh, okay.
I'll share with you what I experienced. I went to the River Commission meeting. First, last week. I don't know when it was. But they talked extensively about I had told you a few times that there was concern about the Segway issue. So I'm here to update you on the Segway issue, and good news is that there was only one person that really wanted to get rid of them, and the River Commission kind of said, no, the Segways are doing fine. So we probably won't do that again. Next, we got an update on the, what's happening over by Steve's house. And then we were there. It's moving forward. Maybe your son? No, this is staff. This is what started. River Commission meeting wasn't not too much meeting after that. The Garfield Clean Energy Authority had a joint meeting with the Corps Board a week ago, and that, I swear I've had the same meeting 3 times already in the last 2 years. And it's, the Corps Board are very interested in trying not to overlap some of the efforts that we have going on with GCE. And the thing is that CLEAR is kind of the nexus of the two groups. They work with both Corps and GCE. So some of their efforts are duplicated, and one of their concerns is that they want to try to be more efficient. But the meeting really was, it didn't really feel too productive. It felt like a lot of the Corps Board telling us how good they are, looking at what we do, and they were very envious of what Garfield Clean Energy does, but they really want to talk about what we do. I don't know where that's going to go. I did want to share with you, and I'll send it out to you. There is a woman from the Office of Economic Development coming to town for a tour of a few different facilities, but it's all part of GCE economic development efforts. This is the energy conservation things we've done. So they invited this person from the Office of Economic Development to come and kind of take a tour of what's going on, see the projects that happen, and kind of the good things that happen when communities collaborate. Anybody would like to join that, and I would be willing to have our spots available. I will forward you guys the invitation. Other than that, I think we're going to have a serious conversation about whether or not we want to stay in this organization. I think they do a lot of good things, and their mission is very appealing, but unless we see Rifle step up and still step up with their funding levels, I'm starting to feel like the funding is inequitable for Wood Springs. 45,000 is what we've done. I think the last 2 years have been 45,000. And that in itself isn't a huge part of our budget, and it kind of comes from different parts of our budget. For me, it's more or less the notion of us putting in all this effort and Rifle that's almost the same size as us. Not really.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up, but there is this obvious inequality issue. I think there's material, I hate to say it, what have you done for us lately? I hate keeping these organizations going and supporting them just because they've done in the past to care about what they're going to do in the future.
And I think this organization has done a lot of good things, especially during the downturn.
Absolutely. But we leverage all the state funding available to make that happen. It's not there anymore, so.
Well, I also wonder if we can get more bang for our buck by just pulling out of it and we already have a pretty robust rebate system that actually CORE helps us with. So, you know, we might have to face some decisions there.
Well, that's worth discussing at some point later, you know, maybe we could dedicate those funds for some other.
I would say if you do want to discuss it, the 2017 budget discussion would be the time.
We could discuss it there. Great.
So that's all.
Thanks, Leo. Anyone else?
Chamber Board this week went through, toured the, I guess they call it Glenwood Commons facility above the library. You know, CMC got a grant to go ahead and develop that, so they expect that to start construction next month, and should be finished by spring. Hoping to be open by June 1st anyway for the business there.
They're moving their gallery currently.
Are they?
This was my understanding. So I'm not sure how that will
Looks like it'll be a pretty nice facility. I don't honestly quite understand how it'll be used, or who will use it, or, but anyway, that'll be good. Tourism Board's working on their budget.
Yes, they are.
They'll be presenting that to us.
I think October 20th, along with some of their commercials.
Yeah.
One thought, I think, tourism board, I think you all, in my initial time through the green way, analysis, and you just point out the really smart thing.
Yep.
The tourism board does pretty good at it, and tourism board, as far as becoming tasked with marketing Glenwood, is it completely out of the realm of possibility to mark a component in England, i.e. a community center? I know kind of you're marketing two different groups. I'm just.
I think the issue is that the tourism funds are fairly specifically dedicated towards that tourism piece and how that would relate to, if you're marketing tourists with that, I think you're, frankly, you've got two competing businesses that probably wouldn't be thrilled. I think the user groups are different, and so the dedication, the dedicated use of those funds, I'm not sure that's the right place.
At least a lot of their funding, comes from hotels.
Yeah, it's all on occupancy tax.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of the day pass users that are actually getting out of the community center are from hotels. People are coming in, and I think local health right there across the community center. We're told have a really good program where for $5 or whatever they get a really easy community center and a lot of them doing it. So I see your point.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that, I think what Greenwood was saying, the other thing I'd say on that is thinking about where and what you're trying to target with those dollars. Because are you trying to increase your regional use, regular users, membership fees, regional membership fees, or you're trying to increase stakes? Because I agree on a daily basis, advertising with hotels and things like that. I think they just need to be focused on what you're trying to accomplish.
There's a little conflict in the tourism board right now. It's a little bit over expanding day trips, so regionally people come in as opposed to people coming and spending the night. So that's already getting to play itself a little bit.
My idea was actually brought that up years ago. This is a kind of discussion about this. We get documents for a little bit more, like kind of stuff, but I think there should, we can certainly leverage what's been developed as far as logos, perhaps religious approaches, but perhaps tourism board just belong, or I'm not tourism board, the city, but someone should look into hiring their own third-party leverage that kind of stuff to target folks in our area.
Well, and I was going to say too, that advertising agency that the tourism board uses, Zoom out of Denver. They got all the information. It would be real easy to probably piggyback on that and do a little campaign to promote the community center.
Maybe I would push to see if they get their task approval to just understand that we use somebody like Zoom for our push. Make sure that would be okay.
Right.
Everybody's happy. I don't know what to do, but I think from an efficiency standpoint, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
We have kind of a similar situation interesting on that.
I'm done.
Okay. I'll jump into that.
Can I just ask a really quick question? The Green Play is coming back with their recommendations when?
October 20th.
Okay, that's getting pretty close to the end of our budget.
Yeah, I don't imagine we will have it in our budget. If they come up with a good enough recommendation, we can always amend the budget. But, I don't think it's anything we're going to be able to flip the switch and just do.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so draft board had a lot of issues they discussed, but the one thing that I kind of find was relevant is the ITSP, which is the, what that acronym stands for, I can't remember what it is, but anyway, it's going to be about
Transportation, regional transportation, something like that.
Yes. Yeah. It's being, the consultant on it is Ralph Chaney with Parsons Transportation Group. And they're looking at travel patterns throughout the entire region. A month ago, we had the argument about whether that travel pattern analysis should extend down to the county. And at least at that point, we were successful in arguing we should. If folks shouldn't, but meaning that the state demographer at that same meeting said that in 20 years, something like 76% of all rail will be west of One Springs. And so, might be something we want to consider in our plan. My thought, but one very small, not small, one element of the ITSP analysis that's being performed is Parsons is using a firm called AirStage to acquire anonymous cell phone data that basically they get already, like they're going to pick 3 or 4 dates in the past. And I think I got the dates or somewhere that, like, for example, July 15th of 2016, I don't know if that's the date that they selected, but, it'll be very specific dates. And on those dates, they can get data from all the cell phone activity on that day in the area. They can know that a cell phone left parachute at 8 a.m. and arrived in Glenwood at 8:45 and stopped for half an hour and then drove on to Salt or whatever. And they can basically look at travel patterns on the basis of cell phone data. The reason that's relevant to Glenwood is the last time we did what was called an origin and destination study was in 2013, I would say, or 2003. We didn't even really do one. That was the last time we did any analysis of how much traffic. We all think all of our traffic problems are of those people, commuters that come from Newcastle or Silver Rifle, and they come through London and they go work in Aspen. And that study in 2003 was a series of humans at various intersections writing down license plate numbers. And if they wrote down the same license plate number out in West London, and then the same one leaving one of it out at Walmart, they would know that okay, that was a through trip. That analysis showed we have about 20, I remember right, 26% or something of our traffic is that through traffic. The other 74% of our traffic is us. You know, we're total Median is us. By us, I mean trips that begin or end in Glenwood. In other words, if someone's coming to Newcastle, work in Glenwood, that's our trip. If someone's going from Glenwood to work in Rifle, that's still our trip. If someone's, you know, living and working in Glenwood, again, that's kind of our trip.
We did see that do kind of the same thing with the preliminary study on the bridge and bypass and stuff.
Yeah, I think that was the study that yeah, that's study talking about. So it's 2003, so it's now 13 years old. And the point is that we can actually piggyback on Rapids' study, set up these zones in Glenwood, because one of the things we also look at is if we are a traffic, or the majority of our traffic is us. Knowing where our traffic is going from and to Glenwood is going to be beneficial to us for planning our future traffic improvements. And so we can set up these more finite zones in Glenwood, and know that, okay, we've got this much traffic coming out of the 4 mile corridor, and we've got this much traffic coming out of West Glenwood, this much coming out of Glenwood Meadows, this much coming out of North Glenwood, etc. And we could get Parsons to do a full-blown, genuine origin destination study. If they do it in conjunction with Rapids study, it will be less expensive because we don't have to buy data. They're already buying data. Data is, I think, is about $100,000-ish. And so, but the study is inexpensive. It's something that we probably need to discuss in the budget. It's probably going to be somewhere in the $130,000 range for us to have them do this study. We could contract directly to RAFTA because the DOTC is doing a similar thing. They're actually contracting about $1 million of additional study for Parsons to do on the Pickens County area. The other thing we need to spend money on, or perhaps we consider spending on, the good news is that if we decide we don't have room in the budget this year, we could, for 2017, this is, you know, basically any time in the next few years, as Parsons is still working on this IDSB analysis of RAPID, we could still piggyback on that, and we're going to get the same dates, so the dates aren't going to move forward because those would have to buy new cell phone data, but I think it's going to be one date in October, one date in February, and one date in July, or something of that nature. So anyway, so that's the relevant thing in the draft, and I've got a meeting with the Enlightenship tomorrow to discuss issues. Yes. And then on the Transportation Commission, we basically looked at the ranking of the ANI tax projects that were identified for the ANI tax. Actually, this is sort of
Street tax.
Yeah, the street tax. Okay. And recognizing we have more projects in money, and so we're trying to figure out where to prioritize stuff. I don't think we really did much else. We talked about north-south shuttle and gave some suggestions trying to discuss RAPID about possibly improving it. But we talked about that a little bit already. Some of the suggestions were seeing what it would take to put boards at various, basically digital readout boards at various bus stations that says your bus will be here in 7 minutes, or 3 hours and 27 minutes, or whatever it may be. So those was one of the suggestions. The other was saying, again, if we could bring it to Tran and just run it at whatever schedule. If we mind those two things, I really think during most of the day it's not going to be much more than 15 minutes turnaround anyway. And we just finding out the driver sitting there playing ball with their kid, sitting in a car, and then you trip.
So the Parsons study, do we have to pay for that, or we just get a copy?
No, we're piggybacking on is getting the data. So if we were to hire Parsons to do this without the graphic data, we'd be looking at about $250,000. It's about $100,000 by data. Having Parsons take it, analyze it, and do a big analysis of it is $130,000. I don't disagree. I think it's on the pricing side. I do think it's something that is potentially very beneficial to us in terms of seeing the true benefit of what we're 14 years ready to do, what we're never ready to do, what's out ready to do. Fine, if we can do this.
I'm going to partner with Todd on this one. Yeah. No,
I guess in my mind, there are things that we're not looking for that this will identify as being a upcoming need or current needs that we're not really seeing. We have all our costs. 111,000. Might sound 50,000 low. Study is 50,000 low.
I have two other things that I wanted to bring up. One of them is that on the day of our retreat or our planning session. Okay. On the second in the evening.
Did I get an invitation?
You should have. Yes. It also is the date that, I think we all got an invitation from Sue Schnitzer from the library. So, we obviously can't be in two places at once. And I don't know what your feeling is about writing her a recommendation as a group or do it on your own. Okay, so I guess if you want to write the recommendation on your own, you did it. So, the other thing I was going to, and I was going to ask you about this, is apparently the Rotary has offered to try and do shade over the play structure in Two Rivers Park, but they haven't heard back from anybody. So I meant to ask Tom about that and I forgot. So.
Did you send it out? Someone was.
I had Mary Lou, she scheduled it.
Oh, I'm looking for you.
Yeah.
Mary Lou, right,
I'm trying to delegate. Does that still work for everybody? 22nd? You all have to be there in order for it to be effective.
One other thing. One other thing. Deborah and I met with, we had a phone conversation with Post Office.
Yes.
And I don't know that was very effective, but we had it. So it was decent. And we met with the resident of Pitkin Avenue, and we're going to try and get a little more police involved with what's going on. Yeah.
So you had sessions today. I kind of went there and was
We had Terry. It was a completely different meeting because I believe Terry was there.
Yeah, she was good. Yeah, I think it was as good as it could have been.
I have nothing for Mary Lou, any costs.
Couple minutes, I don't have any.
Okay, did the 22nd, evening 22nd work? I think we're going to have to also schedule a special meeting. It won't take very long, I don't think.
No, it should take like 5 minutes.
I will go outside.
You said it's at the community
Community
center.
center. I'm going to send out, the document, which is almost finished, along with instructions. And I believe those instructions are going to essentially be a little over a list of 50 projects with an explanation and a spot for priority level, high, medium, low. I think I'm only going to ask you guys to spend some time before you come, so I can get it finished. I'm going to give you, I think, 15 high priorities, 15 medium priorities, and then the rest, you'll have to pick low priorities. I know that's hard because I think you want all of them to happen, but I think in order for it to be effective, you have to make some of those decisions.
Will there be a trust fall exercise as well?
The only time I ever did it, I fell, so I'm not a huge fan of those drawing.
There is going to be a rope
Just one every.
Correspondence?
I don't have any correspondence.
Josie.
He's
Carl wants to get out of here, come on.
Are we done?
Okay, the no smoking sign has been ordered. Terry and Terry are going to go walk out, I believe, tomorrow afternoon and pick the appropriate spots to put them this way there's less of a gap and we'll get them in and then we go to the ground. And Terry and I are also meeting with John Stroud tomorrow on site at the 14th Street pedestrian bridge.
Can one of those signs go right in front of Dock Holidays?
Yeah.
I'm sure they will think of that, but yeah. I told them to think less signs rather than more, because I don't want it to be oversigned.
I had an acquaintance spot me, he was sitting outside in the middle of the day, from Dock Holidays, smoking a cigarette. He saw me, and I drove by, and he goes,
Oh, you did?
yeah.
Did you know him?
Oh, yeah.
Where did it?
He's a friend of mine also.
All right. Anything else? Carl, do you have anything?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, we're adjourned.